Hi, it's Lloyd again and my three amigos who are poking around here somewhere. I've been up in this mountain peak here many times. It's in the Prescott National Forest and it's called Quartz Mountain. The old timers called it White Spar. And the reason for that is that this entire mountain is made of one huge, massive, monumental hunk of quartz crystal. And you can kind of see that poking up all over the place. I think what you're looking at there is the very peak, the summit of this mountain, with that bonsai oak poking out of the top. Now, over the eons, a thin layer of soil has formed on top of this and in the pockets on the side. But scrape away that thin layer and you find more quartz. Miners a long time ago blasted into the sides and found still more quartz. So it's quartz through and through. I'm pretty sure you've heard of concepts like crystal healing, crystal energy, crystal vibrations. Those ideas mean a lot, very valuable to a lot of people, and many books have been written on the subject. Inevitably, though, there's the army of debunkers who say, if you believe that stuff, then there's something wrong with you. You are an airhead. I don't think I'm going to take sides in this debate, but I would like to use it as an example of how fixed judgments and opinions, either pro or con, doesn't matter, can dampen the joy of pure experiencing. It can be like ants at your picnic, just spoil everything. I'll admit that every time I've been up here, which has probably been more than I can count right now, I can't even remember, but every time I'm up here, I feel really energized. I feel happy up here. You know, maybe it's the bracing wind out of the north here blowing in my face. Very invigorating. And it could be this 360-degree view that I see here. It's just spectacular. I can't show you the whole thing because I'd be shooting right into the sun. What you're seeing here is the Sierra Prieta Mountains in the distance. And as I sweep over there, you might see Granite Mountain, big wilderness area. And there is the mile-high mountain city of Prescott, Arizona. Beautiful place. Yeah. So maybe it's the view. Maybe it's the wind. Could be a placebo effect, you know? Subtle little thing going on. On the other hand, maybe, just maybe, there's crystal vibes coursing up out of this quartz and reviving the red corpuscles and creating this buzz that I feel. The point is, it really doesn't matter. The important thing is, I love being here. And I have no opinions to take the fun out of that. Isn't that great? Just as we can see softly with soft eyes, we can know softly with what I'll call soft knowing. So as we move through a wilderness like this one, we can be open to the understanding that it's truly a mystery within mysteries, within mystery to infinity. Years ago, a man named Arthur Eddington wrote, "Not only is the universe stranger than we imagine, it is stranger than we can imagine." And maybe that's why we're so addicted to our opinions. They may not be grounded on much of anything, but at least we can understand them. Opinions seem to settle things, and the human ego likes things to be settled. Without even being aware of it, we can find ourselves adopting and echoing opinions of other people. But the deep truths, the ones that matter, are in you. Tell your own truths. And while you're at it, make your own music. I can't think of a better way to be awake. It's wonderful singing or playing music alone on a mountaintop. There's a purity in it. No other human to be impressed or distressed by it. Only simple joy taking the form of music. They're actually one and the same. Now I think Lucky and Dudley are somehow drawn to my flute playing. They're not music critics, that's for sure. They just seem to have a visceral connection to certain sounds. As you can see there, Dudley usually sings along. The other day, all three sang and howled along with abandon. I didn't get a video of that. This is one of several places where miners cut into the mountain. In these parts, gold is found in quartz, in the seams and outcroppings. The old-time prospectors may have dreamed of finding the mother lode in this mountain. Who knows, maybe they were inches away when they quit, but the mountain keeps its secrets. I like plants that grow in rocks. I've been watching this one for years. I like this tough, wiry little guy. She had the audacity and the optimism to put out blooms when I swear she was barely surviving. Near the peak, I'll show you a claret cup cactus that's growing only on quartz and thriving. I guess I just admire survivors. Now this is the claret cactus I mentioned. So we think we know what that is. It's a cactus, all right. And we certainly think we know what this is. It's a tree, an oak tree. Except it's not an oak tree. That's just a sound we make when we refer to it. A particle physicist could tell you that the tree is made up of atoms, which in turn seem to be made up of concepts like quarks, gluons, bosons, electrons, and that those in turn are really a web of relationships, a system of probabilities. No there. It said that their very existence fundamentally hinges on consciousness. So if you fully understand that, I wish you'd explain it to me. An astrophysicist can tell you that the atoms in that tree were formed in the hearts of exploding stars, then spewed out into the universe billions of years ago, and then somehow got together there, arranged just so to make that little tree. Let's just say that they're a mystery, all trees. And I love hiking surrounded by mysteries. I love being a mystery. The ravens usually do a flyover just like this when we're up here. They certainly seem curious about us. And they usually call down to us. I have no idea what they're saying, if anything, but I love the sound of their voices. They have so many different calls. They certainly make their own music. And they're survivors too. Those tough old omnivores been known to live for 40 years or more. I've noticed the dogs have spent much of the time up here getting up on high perches and gazing at the view. We humans like to take a break from everyday experience by looking at the distant landscapes, those faraway mountains. They just seem to be rooted in stillness. Generally, our minds like to focus on nearby objects, on all the action that's up close. In these far vistas, though, the mind seems briefly overwhelmed by space. It doesn't know what to do with space. It can't evaluate it or analyze it or make judgments about it. So the mind just stops, at least momentarily. And that's the stillness that seems to be in the mountains. Except the stillness is really in you. In the same way, soft knowing reveals the same stillness. There's no position to defend, nothing to resist, no stories to tell. Here and now is allowed because it already is. The mind has nothing to do. When you're at home with the mystery, you do know one thing for certain. and it may be the only thing, you are here.